You cradle your wounds as though they were unwanted intruders, sharp reminders of your failures, the betrayals that cut you, the moments you lost your way. You have treated them as burdens to hide beneath layers of justification and numbness, believing that if you could simply seal them off, you would finally be free. But wounds are not mere scars to conceal. They are gates into the deepest chambers of your heart, portals to the wisdom that only suffering can teach. Today you will lean into the ache, not to prolong your pain, but to witness how every fracture can illuminate your path forward. You begin by finding a quiet space that holds only your breath and the soft echo of your pulse. You sit, allowing the chair to bear your weight as you let your shoulders fall. You place a hand over the place where your chest still feels tender. You draw in a deliberate breath, feeling the air flow through the hollow where grief often gathers. You whisper to your wound, "Show me what you carry." In that invitation, the sharp sting in your ribs loosens just enough for you to see what lies beneath. The longing you buried when your dreams unraveled, the regret that smeared your self-worth, the anger you swallowed to keep the peace. You let the breath carry you inward, past the noise of your rational mind, to the root of the ache. You see a moment, a child turned away with tears stinging her cheeks, a promise betrayed by someone you trusted, a vision of your future crumbling as you watched it fade. You feel the hot ember of that memory flicker. You resist the urge to turn away. Instead, you lean in, tracing its edges with a tenderness you never gave yourself before. You murmur, "I am here. I hold you." In that presence, the ember comes into clearer focus. That wound was born not of your weakness but of circumstances beyond your control and choices you once made with the best intent. You honor it as you would a companion who has borne journeys you have never walked. You rise and move to a mirror. You meet your reflection, eyes shadowed with sorrow, lips curved in guarded neutrality. You let your gaze soften, and you press a finger to the line where the scar crosses your skin, the physical echo of a deeper fracture. You remember the accident that seared that flesh, the surgeon's warning, the weeks of isolation. Each thread of memory coils at the sight of your own skin. You breathe and let the mirror reflect not only the wound but the strength behind it. The days you learned to walk again, the nights you discovered resilience in your own breath, the dawn when you stood upright despite the pain. You trace the scar with gentle strokes, feeling heat bloom beneath your fingertip. You whisper, "This is where I learned my true strength." You sense the transformation, not in erasing the scar, but in reclaiming it as a testament to your survival. You step back from the mirror and let the memory linger as a source of humility and power. You carry this presence into your day. When someone's careless word grazes your old hurt, you feel the familiar flare of irritation. You pause, recalling the ember you once traced with compassion. You allow the anger to rise, then shape it with a question, "What does this trigger teach me now?" You discover the lesson not in the sting of offense, but in the clarity it brings. Your boundary has been trespassed. You calmly assert your space with a measured voice, drawing on the strength forged in earlier suffering. In speaking your truth, you honor the wound's wisdom rather than drown in its pain. As evening falls, you return to your journal. You write in continuous lines, allowing the words to flow without punctuation or premeditation. You record the day's moments when wounds spoke to you, the echo of grief when a colleague lost a loved one, the surge of compassion when a neighbor struggled with their own loss, the gentle grief that rose as you watched the sunset's final ember fade. You witness how your own wounds attuned you to the unspoken ache in others. You feel your heart widen as you jot each memory, a tapestry of empathy formed by your own suffering. You close the journal and light a candle, its flame flickering like the ember once buried in your chest. You cradle its light in cupped hands and whisper, "May my wounds guide my compassion." You blow gently, letting the flame dance, and you breathe in the warmth as a benediction on your journey. You step into the night carrying the candle's glow in your awareness. You walk to a friend who has been silent in their pain and offer not your grand solutions, but the simple presence you know so well. A listening ear, a silent shoulder, a hand that does not flinch at the ache. You let your own scars form a bridge between souls, each wound a gift of connection, each compassionate word a balm on their sorrow. You speak from a place that only your suffering can reach, the place where empathy blooms amid the ashes of sorrow. You return home and sit in the glow of the candle. You place your hand once more over your chest and feel the embers of your wounds as they flicker with new meaning. You inhale deeply and feel gratitude for every fracture you once tried to hide. For without them, you would never have learned that compassion is not an abstract virtue but a living force born in the crucible of your own pain. You close your eyes and let the flame's warmth seep into your bones. You whisper to the wounds themselves, "Thank you for teaching me my heart." You sense their gentle hum resonate against your flesh, a quiet symphony of transformation. You step into sleep carrying the knowledge that every wound you bear is not a burden but a beacon, a source of wisdom that will guide your steps, light your compassion, and shape a life lived in profound authenticity.